Hey everybody, welcome to Frankly Speaking. So today we're going to make my famous pumpkin pie smoothie. People at work used to absolutely love this and they always wanted the recipe, so now I'm going to share the recipe with you. First, for our ingredients, we have canned pumpkin. You could use fresh pumpkin if you want to, but it seems like a lot of extra work to just roast a pumpkin and carve it and all that stuff just to have a smoothie ingredient. So canned pumpkin is just fine, and it's also very nutritious. Also, for our greens, we're going to be using spinach today. I like spinach because it has a slightly nutty flavor and it blends very smoothly into the smoothie. You could replace this with any green you choose, but again, the spinach is the smoothest that you're going to get. You should always try to have frozen ingredients in your smoothie because smoothies are supposed to be cold. So I have about 1 frozen banana, a little bit of frozen beets because I like to add that extra sweetness and to give it a slight bit of color that's not so green. To make this a pumpkin pie smoothie, we're going to need some spices. If you happen to have a pumpkin pie spice mix, fantastic, you should probably use that. If not, you can very easily make your own pumpkin pie spice mix by using the following ingredients. For our spices, we have half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of cloves, a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg, a quarter teaspoon of allspice, and about a quarter teaspoon of salt. Salt sounds like a very unusual ingredient, but remember this is a pie tasting smoothie, and in pies we use salt to bring out those spices and to enhance sweet flavors. Usually I don't measure things out in teaspoons or quarter teaspoons, use any measurements, I just dash them in, but some people need something to go by to start with, so I decided to say, you know what, this is about approximately how much I use. Now here's the thing, when you blend your smoothie for the first time, you might want to add a little extra of a certain flavor to help balance it out. And once you figure out that first or second time you make this smoothie, you'll know exactly what works for you. Okay, another ingredient you will need is ginger in your spice mix. You could use powdered ginger. Again, that's probably about 1/4 teaspoon like most of the other spices. I, however, have this squeezed ginger that I absolutely love, so I'm going to be adding this in today. You don't want to go too crazy with the ginger though if you have something fresh because ginger very easily overpowers other flavors, so you just want that little bit to enhance that pumpkin pie taste. Something you will need to do is to adjust the sweetness. Pumpkin kind of absorbs flavor quite a bit. So today I have maple syrup, so if I need to add some sweetness, I'm going to add a little anyway just because I like that flavor in there. Probably about maybe a teaspoon or 2, or maybe just a bloop. Not really sure how much because again I don't really measure, I just kind of go by taste or what kind of feels right. Also, smoothies are very forgiving, so I mean if you're a little off on how much you put for ingredients, it's not a science like baking, so if it's off, then you just kind of add a little of the other ingredients to balance it out. So it's always a good idea to have some form of fat in your smoothie, not too much, just a little bit to help the absorption of those fat-soluble vitamins that are in there, because you want to get that full nutritional impact, right? So today I'm going to use cashew butter. I really love cashew butter in any sort of recipe that I'm trying to get to taste like a pie because it kind of has that slightly pie crust taste to it. I don't know, it just kind of works out that way. You could use almond butter or hazelnut butter or any other nut butter you have. Definitely not peanut butter. Peanut butter would probably really change the flavor of this to not be pumpkin pie. For me, cashew butter has always tasted the best in this recipe. And for the liquid to help blend this all together, I'm going to use a non-dairy milk. Today I'm using flax milk. I'm one of the few people I know that likes flax milk, but it does have a very smooth taste. I think it goes really well in this particular smoothie recipe. Any milk you have will do. You could also use water, but I feel the milk gives you a little extra oomph to it, and also you get a little extra calcium because usually these milks are really highly fortified, so that just adds to the nutrition. Okay, it looks like I have everything, so let's add the ingredients. So using the recipe tips from my other smoothie video, if you haven't watched it yet, it is the exotic smoothie video. It does not have a name other than exotic smoothie because I'm still waiting for a good enough suggestion to change that. So if you'd like to see those recipe tips, the link to that video will be in the comments below. So as mentioned in my smoothie tips, I want to put the frozen heavy stuff on the bottom. Then I'll add the pumpkin, then my spinach, my liquid. About a cup or two should do. To know how much to use, just sort of eyeball it and see what works. If it is too thick, you can always just add more as you go. My yummy squeezed ginger. Oh man, I really do love this stuff. All my spices, followed by nut butter, about a spoonful or so. Ah, this is just delicious. Nut butter. Add some maple syrup. A little more maple syrup than I intended, but it'll probably taste more like pie, actually. I always like to add some protein powder to my smoothies to add some extra oomph and thickness. This is vanilla flavor. Usually I use plain, but this is what I have on hand. As always, I blend for about 1.5 minutes. Then I add my dry protein powder, and then I blend for about another 20-30 seconds. This helps reduce the amount of gas that will be in your smoothie. Okay, it is all blended up. Let's see how we did. So something I really like about this is that it has a very thick texture to it that's very similar and reminiscent to the actual texture pumpkin pie might have. So let's see what it tastes like. Okay, that is delicious. I know I always say it's delicious, but I mean this one in particular came out really, really well today. Totally outdid myself. This just tastes incredible. This is going to be about as close as you're going to get to pumpkin pie and still be extremely healthy. So please, try out this recipe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, hit the like button, and if you'd like to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.